going to talk about cannabis and upper gastrointestinal disorders. They're different than lower gastrointestinal disorders, so we'll cover that in another section. So these include things like heartburn or GERD, same thing, and ulcers. Turns out that the gastrointestinal system is absolutely loaded with endocannabinoid receptors, lots of places for THC to bind to. And THC in particular is really useful for ulcers because there are some theories that ulcers show an altered activity of endocannabinoid receptors. THC in particular is stimulating, and it actually can help normalize the activity of the endocannabinoid receptors in the gut. And for ulcers, that's really important. So if you have an ulcer, which is also a stress-linked disorder, THC is going to be really helpful in balancing that. And you don't need a lot. I would start with maybe 5 milligrams of THC 3 times a day. You can do that by tincture, you can do it by edible. If you have any nausea associated with your upper GI symptoms, we'll cover that in a separate section, but you can definitely use things like sublingual mouth sprays or tinctures to get your THC dose. And as always, if you're bothered by the psychoactivity, you can add CBD to the mix. So 5 milligrams of THC, 5 milligrams of CBD 3 times a day would be a good way to start. However, if you're talking about reflux, that involves tightening of the sphincters in your throat and a little bit lower in your esophagus. And you definitely can benefit from the muscle relaxant activities of CBD. So for reflux, you can definitely use a CBD THC mix. It's always good to have a little bit of THC when you're talking about gastrointestinal disorders. As I said, it definitely binds to the endocannabinoid receptors in your gut. But you can go up to higher levels of CBD for control of reflux. And that might give you a 4-to-1 mix, which is 80% THC. And some people have benefited from up to a 20-to-1 mix, which is 95% CBD. As far as smoking and ulcers, actually smoking is contraindicated for ulcers or for GERD just because it's irritating to the airways and your throat. So I would stick with vaporizing if you wanted to inhale it all and avoid smoking altogether for your upper GI symptoms.